could understand me better than how I understand myself. But wow, was I completely wrong. To be honest, I've always thought that with my identity. I just refused to acknowledge it. I didn't know who I wanted to be, what I liked, and even what I wanted sometimes. As I grew up, it only got worse. When I was little, I used to love chocolate. But now, I try to avoid it as much as I can. You might think it's just a trivial thing, but to me, it was pretty big. Because after that instance, I kept finding more and more things about myself that have changed. They quickly built up. And then suddenly, I no longer knew who I was. My identity has shattered into little pieces. I felt like a stranger to myself. The things that used to make me myself were no longer there. Instead, they were scattered all over the place.
Miss,
I
ini saya
felt
videoin semua, ntar Miss
completely
pilihin
lost,
aja ya, Miss.
knowing only the basics about myself, yet wondering who I truly was. Ladies and gentlemen, have you all heard of the term identity crisis? I'm sure you've all been included with it at least once in your life. What I was experiencing can be labeled as an identity crisis, common to many and often triggered by life-changing events. However, it's been shown in reports that teenagers, like me, are prone to an identity crisis because we're at a stage in life where we're transitioning into adulthood. As our bodies mature, so does our brain. Everyone's experience with identity crisis may be different, but one thing they all have in common is the feeling of estrangement from themselves. It makes them feel lost and confused. It's like being in a house of mirrors, seeing reflections but unsure which is the true you. Ladies and gentlemen, now you must be wondering, how do you deal with an identity crisis? The answer is simple. Really? What do you do when you meet a stranger? You get to know them. Reacquaint yourself. If you feel like a stranger, then treat yourself like that. Someone new and just spend some quality time with yourself. Soon, you'll realize that there's so many parts of you that you didn't know you had. For me, that was public speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, I used to be an incredibly quiet and shy kid with little to no social skills. I always avoided public speaking, and whenever I read aloud in class, my teacher would always tell me to speak up. So, imagine my surprise when I told my teacher that I wanted to join a speech competition one day. Me doing speech? What a joke! But I did it anyways. And I didn't win at that time, but it didn't matter to me. Because I gained something more important. A new part of me. Suddenly, I could see myself way clearer. Through self-estrangement, I was able to discover more things about myself with a fresh outlook. This was accompanied by a lot of self-reflection and looking deep into myself. Little by little, I was able to rebuild my sense of self. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't know who I was. And to be honest, I still don't. There's still so many things I don't know about myself. But the way I'm saying things, it makes it seem like I've got everything all together. But really, I'm still struggling too. But through self-estrangement, I was able to recover parts of myself. I was able to piece together an identity. I'm not sure if I can ever truly understand myself to the fullest, because, well, we're always changing and growing. But despite that, I'm happy. I'm happy with the person I've been, the person I've become. Ladies and gentlemen, understanding ourselves is crucial if we want to grow and become the best version of ourselves. That's why I encourage you all to ask this question. Who am I? It might feel like you already know who you are, but do you really? And when you end up seeing that the answer leads to you feeling lost and like a stranger, reach your hand up to inside yourself. Introduce yourself to this stranger and get to know them. Everyone, I invite you all to put a hand over your chest, and the count of 3, we'll say nice to meet you together. 1, 2, 3. Nice to meet you. Let's embark on this journey of self-discovery together, embracing the complexities of who we are and continuing to grow deeper.
Udah 5 menit.
My name is Keziana from Emmanuel Senior High School, and I hope you all have a lovely day. Thank you.